All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank y'all again for joining us this morning, and welcome to our first virtual breakfast meeting. My name is Connor Watkins. I am the multimedia strategist here at the Chamber. And first off, obviously, just want to say welcome. And second, please let us know in the chat box whether you can hear the audio well and all of that, and can see everything that's going on the screen. You should see me right now. So again, thank you for joining us this morning. And also in the chat box, let us know how you're doing, how your business is doing, how your family is doing. Great, thank you, Laura. And just let us know if the resources that we've been giving you are helpful, and what we can continue to do as a chamber to help you and your business during this time, because I know every day is constantly changing with different regulations and things that we have to follow, or different programs that we have the ability to apply for to help us during this time. So thank you again for joining us. Let me remind you of a couple of things. First, I want to say a big thank you to today's breakfast sponsor, MCEC, Mid Carolina Electric Cooperative. I know they've had a pretty busy time, especially right now with the days following kind of the severe weather that we've all had. So MCEC, thank you again for sponsoring this breakfast. And just as a reminder, there is always an opportunity for you to look and see what resources we have available for you. So we're getting these from both the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and obviously the state resources here in South Carolina. So make sure you keep looking at those, and I'll continue to update those as we receive them. And obviously on the other side, you see small business updates. That's actually where you can continue to update us on your business practices. I've been getting a lot of updates recently, so I will continue to update those as quickly as I can for you guys. So again, both of those pages are available to you, and I will be updating those. Specifically, Governor McMaster had a press conference yesterday. So every time he does a press conference, I try to embed the video for that press conference on that business resource page so that you can look it over and you don't have to watch the whole thing, as they give us some key takeaways for that. So make sure you look at those each time, and continue to check your email, as the email is probably the first place you'll see the resources that we get available from both, obviously, the U.S. Chamber, any federal agencies, and state agencies. Want to recognize our new members real quickly. Austin Drilling Inc., Crystal Clear Solutions, Physical Therapy and Balance Center Lexington, Walmart on South Lake Drive, and Bank of America. So just make sure you are on the lookout for those. There are contact information for those members on the website. So if you want to, just reach out to them and thank them for joining, as well as the same thing with our breakfast sponsor. If you want to, and I know they appreciate that, especially for our different events. Many people have reached out to the sponsors of our Mind Your Business events and the breakfast, and just say thank you for them for helping us get this together. I know it's a different time, but their support is still just as valuable in person as it is digitally. So again, we appreciate that. And now I'm going to play a short message from MCEC's Troy Simpson.
Good morning. And on behalf of Mid Carolina Electric Cooperative, it's an honor to be with you today to sponsor this virtual breakfast. Now, to sponsor a breakfast with no breakfast is sort of a novel concept. So wherever you are, whatever your morning has in store, we are glad that you're here. However, instead of sharing the usual infomercial about our company, I instead wanted to share some thoughts for all of us as we walk through these days together. But first, I have a question, sort of a check-in for each one of us. Where are you, and can you make room? Can you make room as a person in all of your roles within your family, as a leader within your organization and our community? Where are you, and can you make space in different ways as we walk through these days to lead, guide, and to serve? It's an important question that begs an answer as it informs how we and those around us will weather today and the days ahead. Now, when I ask if we can make room, it's not ignoring the ways to keep everybody safe. There's a difference between planning for and observing social distancing, but consider how together we can make room for new ways of living and caring for folks when it's needed most. I think one of the first things we need to do is acknowledge fear, but make room and be intentional to live above living fearful. Now let's speak into the obvious. These are strange times. For most of us, even the word pandemic was at best an obscure word we would run across from time to time. We probably gave little or no thought to the possibility of its impact. It's more than okay to be concerned. It's okay to acknowledge our fears and to lean on each other. But understand, too, when fear has started to become the filter that guides our actions and consumes our thoughts, and the harmful effects of living this way. Be informed, absolutely. But understand, too, when to boundary with the always-on 24/7 stream of information and its ongoing impact on you day by day. Allow reasonable information to guide us, not overwhelm us, and there is a difference. So the second thing I'd encourage us to do is to give gratitude a chance. Make room for being thankful. When under stress, it's sometimes hard to notice what we have right now. The fear of what may come robs us of the ability to live in the present. Take an inventory of what is around us today. Even writing these things down for which we're grateful can be a game changer. The economic realities around us right now are tough, and in no way am I dismissing or diminishing the impact of what are the very real and forced changes that are becoming commonplace around us. We don't like being forced out of our comfort zones or of our normal day-to-day routines. But sometimes it has been the inconvenience of unavailable goods, or depending on your situation, adjusting to working remotely, or having everybody at home. You're trying to figure out how to just make life work right now. For some, it has meant pay cuts, perhaps even the loss of a job, or making the decision to furlough or let folks go. Still look for ways to take inventory of the blessings around you to remind you when life seems bleak or even at its worst. And always, always reach out for help when you need it. I'd also encourage us, give grace. Make room for understanding. And that sounds like an old term, but consider extending grace. Seek to understand first where folks are coming from, what they're wrestling through, and look for ways to give folks an intentional break, a pass in your circle, whether it be at home, in your business, or out in the community. Now, during normal times, let's agree we all carry something. But during days of increased concern, what we carry normally can lead to shorter fuses and quick assessments on our part, and sometimes judgments of what's wrong with everybody else. Try as best we can to first understand just where someone is coming from, and then just be present to hear them out. Be aware of our own fear, frustration, and anxiety that can lead us to places whereby we might quickly categorize folks who are in the wrong. Next, I think we need to start deciding now, what will our reset be? Go ahead and make plans for the future. Plan now on how things will be different after this season has passed. What will be your new normal as we walk past the days and through the days of abnormal? Maybe it's a new perspective on valuing how everyone's contributions make our community whole. Maybe it's an appreciation for those who perhaps have before now been unseen in our day-to-day, but they make a huge impact. Take note how to appreciate the full inventory of individuals around us who make life happen from day to day in very significant ways, and carry that gratitude into the future. I would also encourage us to make room for self-care. Make room for yourself so that you can give and serve from that place. Taking time to understand where you are in this season is so important, because even in times of embracing new realities, you can work toward and choose a best version of yourself. Working on your private victories, choices that you make to seek help during these times, whether it be physically, emotionally, or spiritually, these personal choices to become better inside will enable you to lead and serve well and care for those that you love around you and for those you're yet to meet. Make room to be available. Be present. Be willing to listen. Be willing to serve. Now, it would be easy during this time to be fully compliant on all the directives to isolate and feel good that we are doing our part. Maybe we feel secure that our needs are met, and then we just settle in until the storm is over. We sort of excuse ourselves from looking beyond ourselves to look out for one another, to look out for our neighbors. There has never been a more important time for each of us as leaders to stand in the gap to serve family and friends, our colleagues, and our communities. But be aware, too, there are many in our community who desperately need our help in normal times. But there are those who are most vulnerable right now. They've been devastated by these events, and they need our assistance. Care agencies such as Mission Lexington are pushed beyond their financial ability to serve our neighbors through their basic daily needs of food, for medicine, and other necessities. That is a space that you and I can step into today. Look for ways to win together. Make room for new ideas. Be open to and seek out the importance of accomplishing rituals, business routines, and maybe life in general, just in different ways. Sort of like sponsoring a virtual breakfast with no food. However, if you think about it, it's never been about the food anyway. It's about the people. It's about each other and our relationships. The way we connect, the way we learn from each other, the way we support each other and make each other better as we lock arms and lead together. It's been good this morning to get together and connect, if even in a different way. I encourage us all to continue to look for ways to make a difference in our community and invite others to lead with you from wherever you are. When this season has passed, may it be said of our community that together we kept each other safe. We met needs when it was most critical, and our community is stronger for having walked through these times together. Blessings to you and yours during this Holy Week, and blessings until we get together again.
All right, thank you, Troy. And as a part of his message, I'm going to play a short video from him regarding the National Linesman's Day. If I can get it up. Great. Thank y'all for dealing with me through my technical difficulties. So MCEC, thank you again for sponsoring. And now I want to turn it over to one of our two speakers today, this morning. And it's going to be Lou Kennedy, the president and CEO of Nephron Pharmaceuticals. And she's just going to give us a little bit of an update on them. I know they've been doing a lot for our community, which I know that you guys have seen in the media during this time. So we appreciate her, and I know a lot of the small businesses appreciate her and what she's doing to continue to help not only our county, but our state. So let me go ahead and turn it over to Lou.
Good morning, everyone, and I hope everyone is safe and sound. And I'm sure you've heard it a million times already, but remember to wash those hands. We've been very, very busy at Nephron, and I want to tell you a little, or Otis and Connor have asked me to talk a little bit about that. So on any given month, we ship around 75 to 85 million doses of respiratory medications per month. And it swells to 85 during the cough, cold, allergy season. This past March, we shipped 193 million doses of respiratory medication. So many of you know, but I'll just go ahead and explain. We make liquid nebulizer solutions that you put into the solutions you put into a machine called a nebulizer. Turn that on, it creates a mist, and those open the airways. And since COVID-19 is characterized by severe respiratory distress, our medications definitely treat the symptoms of severe respiratory distress. So what's nice is that our medications actually get down into the very bottom of the lungs and reach the alveoli. Early on, the clinicians were suggesting the use of inhalers, which really only treat the upper airways. So kind of gets into the back of the throat and treats the upper airways. Our nebulizer solutions get down deep into the lungs. And so we've seen the use of them skyrocket. Now, many of you may not know this, but I'll tell you here today that there are only 2 of us that make these nebulizer solutions for all of America, or at least 98% of them. We have about 2% that comes in from India and Europe. But during this pandemic, those drugs are not making their way in from India or Europe. So there's 2 of us actually making all these nebulizer solutions for all of America. And the crazy thing of it is, we are here in West Columbia, and our only competitor is located 17 miles from us on exit 19 on I-77. So believe it or not, South Carolina is playing a tremendous role in the treatment of the symptoms of COVID-19. And I'm sure they're just as busy as we are. We've really pushed our folks. They're all coming in, essential workers. We are so proud to be at this time. I'd like to say we're trying to be patriots. We're really showing up every day, practicing our social distancing. You can see Hank to my left. He is on your board. And so he and I have been showing up every day, doing our part in this pandemic to try and get all these meds out. Now, about 3 years ago, we started a new division of our company where we're making sterile injectable medications. Believe it or not, those are also at an all-time high. So the respiratory meds jumped by about 141% in the month of March, and that we're seeing the same skyrocketing numbers in April. The same can be said for the sterile injectable medications. Those are also seeing record highs. And what I mean by sterile injectables, many of you have read that the COVID-19 patients with the severe symptoms are being put on a ventilator. So the standard practice is to put the patient to sleep, put them on the ventilator, hook up the respiratory medications and or whatever they're trying, whether it be hydroxychloroquine or other medications. Then they're going to wake the patient back up. And so the medicines that are used to put the patients to sleep and wake them up, also medications to treat pain, we're making those too. So we've seen a rise in orders for morphine, hydromorphone, and fentanyl. Now, that's not to say that we're not also seeing babies being born during this time. So we also make several of the medications that are made for the labor and delivery purposes. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're doing to keep the Nephron employees safe. And certainly the social distancing is a part of that. But we were fortunate enough several months back to buy some equipment that we could use in a portable fashion for the cleaning of our clean rooms. We've extended that portable equipment to cover cleaning all of our common areas twice a day. So anywhere that we have people walking in hallways, certainly the doorknobs, on the walls and floor surfaces, we're actually misting those with vaporized hydrogen peroxide to help a second layer of cleanliness. So not just what we do in the clean rooms, but we're extending that into the common areas and offices as well. we've given all of our folks colloidal silver hand gel so that they can put that on their hands and even swab the inside of their nostrils, so that if the virus is in the air, as soon as it hits a surface with metal, it kills the virus. So we've given our employees that. I'll show you this into the camera. We started making hand sanitizer. The FDA reached out to us about 3 weeks ago and authorized us to sterile compound hand sanitizer. So we've provided hand sanitizer to every hospital in South and North Carolina that has asked for it. We've provided hand sanitizer to our legislature, to the governor's office, to the emergency workers in Lexington County, Sheriff's Department in Richland County, and anybody else who's asked us. We've tried to get that made as quickly as possible and get that out. We have not opened it up to the rest of America. We're trying to keep the supply that we have inside both of the Carolinas. We may open it up later. But we never thought we'd be in the hand sanitizer business. It's just something that the FDA asked us to do, and we, of course, we're glad to do our part. Now, it's a crazy day, but we've been so fortunate that the White House and the FDA has been in constant contact with us really through the last month, and we are delighted that they are willing to give us an expedited review of 4 lines that we installed during 2019. Well, we installed 6 lines, but we're asking for help with 4 of them because we know that we can produce more of those needed respiratory meds on those lines. Even though we originally installed them for some various different products, we have the ability to make respiratory meds. So just so you know, like, we stopped about 2 weeks ago manufacturing the pediatric strength of our respiratory meds and focus as much as we could on the adult strength, because that's the demographic that's hit hardest. Even though we still have supply of the pediatric strength, we wanted to focus as many of our machines as we could on that. We're having contests for our employees to shorten changeover times. Let's see, we've provided all our employees with a month's supply, and it may need to be extended, of vitamin C, where we have an employee pharmacy where we're selling elderberry syrup and other things that are antiviral and antifungal, like the use of tea tree oil in diffusers and eucalyptus. So we have placed air purifiers at all the employee entrances, and we have also started diffusers with both of those essential oils, just trying to help keep our family safe here at Nephron. Let me just refer to my notes and make sure that we haven't. Oh, we also do temperature checks as you walk in. We place signs up around all of our lavatories on how to appropriately wash our hands. Even though we have those operating procedures as a part of our clean rooms, we've added that to the day workers that are in the offices. We did have one person here at Nephron test positive for COVID-19. That person checked their temperature when they arrived and they were fine. They got home that evening and started having symptoms. They went to the hospital, were tested. They did test positive. We've tested all the 9 or 10 workers that were in close proximity to this patient and or team member, and all of their tests have come back negative. So we've really feel, so far confident that we're doing everything we can to keep our folks safe. And I would tell you that if you were to interview or talk to some of the people, and many of our employees are from Lexington County, I think you'd see that they feel confident and optimistic that we're doing everything that we can with the use of isopropyl alcohol and hydrogen peroxide. So what I will tell you, though, is that we do feel really good that we are coming into work every day, and we hate that our business is so busy for the fact that there are so many people ill, but we are very happy that we can provide something to hopefully offer people a little bit of help with their symptoms. And we are extremely appreciative of the FDA and the federal government for working with us during this time on all the medications that we make here. And we are proud that we're doing it right here in South Carolina. And of course, I'm especially proud that we're doing it right here in Lexington County, which is my home. Hank, is there anything we should add? Anything?
No, that's everything.
Okay, I'm happy. I know that Britt Poole is going to be speaking today. Hi, Britt. I see you on the screen. I'm anxious to hear what steps are being taken throughout Lexington County. But at the end, Connor, if you want to open it up for any questions, I'm happy to take those as well.
Yeah, I surely will. Thank you, and I'll make sure to moderate those in the chat box and kind of turn it over to you if we get questions specifically for Nephron. But I know we appreciate everything that you're doing, and it seems like always in a time of crisis, even in our country, I know that you guys had a big impact with Hurricane Harvey in Houston. So we just appreciate everything that you guys do, and it seems like you are truly, benchmarking when it comes to taking care of your employees too. So we appreciate everything that you do.
Oh, Connor, I will say this. We also have provided, we've donated medications and breathing equipment to that Samaritan's Purse tent city in Central Park. We have notified and have sent meds to the ship that's just outside New York City. And we're making these nebulizers and other breathing equipment available. So if anybody needs anything, please contact us online and we're happy to ship. I touched my face. Anyway, get some hand sanitizer. And so we want to let you know that we have all that available. We're not in short supply of anything.
Great. Someone asked in the chat box, they said, how can local doctors' offices purchase some hand sanitizer? Their husband's practice is almost out.
We've absolutely already been selling to a lot of different practices around the Midlands. So if you just call in to the Nephron number that you find online and ask for Lindsay Miles, she sits about 8 feet away from me. She's out the screen, but she's here in my office, and we're handling all those requests right through us. So we make sure we get to everybody.
Awesome. Okay, well, yes, stick around and I will be sure to moderate some questions for you and let you pop back in. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Britt Poole, who's the administrator with the town of Lexington, so that he can give us an update on everything that's happening with the town. Thank you again, Lou.
Sure.
Hey, good morning. Very proud of what Lou and Nephron are doing. So great job over there. We appreciate your efforts. We want to start out by letting everybody know, believe it or not, this isn't the first pandemic that the town of Lexington has faced. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to our Facebook page back in March, and there was a link put up in the history section talking about the last time we faced a pandemic, and I believe it was 1918. And I encourage you, when you do that, to like the Facebook page so that you can follow and get all the information that we put out. A lot of what I'm going to talk about today has been shared there already. I'm going to see if I can switch over to my screen share so that I can show you guys a very, very short PowerPoint presentation. Let's see here. And is that going out?
We see it, Britt. Thank you.
Excellent. So I'm just going to talk very quickly about what our response has been, set some guidelines so everybody understands where we are, how we're available. So the very first thing that we did was close town hall to the public, but we're going to talk about in a minute about how we are open and available to meet your needs. Shortly after that, on March 17th, council passed an emergency ordinance suspending late fees and any sort of fines for non-payment of hospitality tax. So we talked about this at a previous chamber meeting, but just to be clear, so hospitality tax should still be collected. However, the emergency ordinance is in effect for 60 days, which means that it ends on May 18th. Council may very well decide to extend that. That's the limit to what state law allows for an emergency ordinance is 60 days. So right now, until May 18th, there's no penalties, no fines or fees assessed for the late payment of H-tax. So if that helps with the business's cash flow, you've got that opportunity there. And again, council will be discussing extending that. I think it's likely, but it hasn't happened. Also, utility cutoffs, as requested by the governor, have been suspended. So nobody is being cut off from utilities. If you are aware of anybody that doesn't have utilities, you should let Town Hall know, and we will interact with that customer to see what the problem is, because we haven't cut anybody off in quite a while. So if you go to the town's webpage, which is lexsc.com, up at the top is a link to the COVID-19 response, which gives everybody a bunch of phone numbers for direct places to call for everything from building inspections to finance questions. Whatever your interaction with Town Hall is, there's a direct email and phone number so you can interact with us that way. Again, Town Hall is not open to the public, but we are open normal business hours. We're conducting our business. We're just doing it remotely. We have a pneumatic tube so that you can pay utility payments or submit paperwork or anything like that. We also have a drop box located at Town Hall. So all that is open and functioning, normal hours, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Again, I refer you to go to the website and look at that list of information that's available so that you can figure out who you need to contact and deal with them directly. Another service that we're providing is the police department is working with any especially drive-throughs that are having issues. Hopefully we've sort of dealt with all these already, but if you're having trouble getting your customers in and out of your business, please call us. The police department's non-emergency number is 359-6260, 359-6260. And that will allow us to, we can send somebody over to help maybe change the layout of your parking lot using cones, maybe come up with some ideas how you can be most efficient in getting people in and out. There's no charge for that service. We're just trying to help people serve their customers in a way that is safe. Let's see, a couple things I wanted to mention also. There'll be a town council meeting on April the 20th. So that's next Monday at 6:30 p.m. You can go again to our Facebook page and find the link so that you can watch that streaming. You can also watch it on Time Warner Cable, or I'm sorry, Spectrum Cable on the town's channel. It'll be streaming live there. Obviously, it's going to be a similar meeting to this in that it'll be remote. The phone number on the screen will allow for public comment at the appropriate times during the meeting so that the public can still be heard about items on the agenda and their input can be taken. There, I believe, is also a public hearing about an annexation, and so there'll be a public comment section for that as well. Right now, we will be closed, Town Hall, to the public until April 30th. Obviously, that might be extended as the governor will follow whatever direction the governor puts out for us. Let's see here. Trying to go back to the camera, but I'm not able to do that. So we'll figure that out later. But again, we'll follow whatever direction the governor gives us for that. And encourage everybody to go on to Facebook and look at that and like and follow so that you're able to get all the updates as soon as they get put out, as well as the Lexington Police Department's Facebook page, which has lots of updates about traffic and accidents and things like that when they occur, so that you can be one of the first to know and avoid those areas. So a couple things, we'll be submitting a budget this week to council. That budget for the town is going to be extremely austere. I'm sure that as many businesses are facing in these economic times, the town has those issues as well. So just a heads up on that. There won't be any capital or any of that sort of thing included in the budget. Council has also asked for a list of other things that it might be legal and possible for the town to do to help citizens and businesses during this time. Staff has been working diligently on compiling a number of different options, everything comprehensive list, if you will, everything that we're able to do, and we'll get that to council, and they will be considering those as well. So you may see additional actions beyond this in the near future. So I think that's everything that I have, but I'm glad to answer any questions if anybody has any.
Thank you, Britt. I haven't seen any in the chat box, but I do have two in particular. Let's see. Are there any further discussions on the potential for small business loans?
Those discussions are ongoing. They're part of the comprehensive package that council's been presented with, and we hope to have further details to be able to fully put meat on the bones of that plan to let council consider that again. Hopefully that will be part of that meeting next Monday. Okay,
great. And you may have already covered this. Let me just ask one other question. I know Charleston County has done a lot of things regarding their hospitality tax for 60, 90 days or longer as far as like deferment is concerned. Is that something that you guys have considered for like a longer period of time?
Well, as I said, the 60-day period is all that the emergency ordinance allows for. So state law allows you to do that for the 60 days at a maximum. So it could very well be extended. Council will be considering that. I can't speak for them, but it's a real possibility that they'll be extending that.
Okay, great. Okay, well, Britt, I want to thank you for your time, and I appreciate you, putting this presentation together and giving us some facts and letting us know about that meeting of town council. I don't see any other questions for you or Lou in the Zoom chat. So what I'm going to say is, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to email them over to me, and I'll be happy to continue to kind of field those, and I can get those to Britt or Lou if we need to going forward. And this presentation will also be available for you guys to view, and anyone who that wasn't able to make it this morning. It'll be able to be available to view on the website. So once I get this recording from Zoom, I'll put it together and put it on the blog, and make sure that all the shareholders get an email with a link to that. So again, Lou and Britt, thank you again for your time, and we really appreciate you guys taking a moment to give us some updates. And of course, we appreciate y'all's continued support of our community during this. And I do want to thank MCEC one more time for their sponsorship of our first virtual breakfast. Again, if you guys have any questions that we might not have been able to get to, or you didn't think of for Lou or Britt, please email those to me. My email is Connor, CONNOR, at lexingtonsc.org. Again, that's Connor, CONNOR, at lexingtonsc.org. Otherwise, please look out for this recording and let everybody know that they'll be able to access it within the next day. And have a great rest of your week, and continue to let us know what we can do to help you. Thank you again, guys, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.